today's lecture, let us discuss about the attachment of cranial nerves, that is 12 pairs of cranial nerves, and how they are attached and how they are formed. That is cranial nerves. Our topic is cranial nerves, which are 12 pairs. First let us discuss about first type of cranial nerve, that is first type is olfactory nerves. First type is olfactory nerves. Now, where does this olfactory nerve is formed and from which part it is coming out of the central nervous system? Now, let us consider this is a central nervous system. This is cerebrum, cerebellum, and pons and medulla. This is the midbrain. Now, this plate is called cribriform plate. This plate is called cribriform plate, in which it consists of pores like this. Slits are present. And let us draw this plate here. This is a plate, that is cribriform plate. Now, on surface of this cribriform plate, olfactory nerves is present. This is olfactory nerve. Now, this olfactory nerve or cribriform plate is associated with bipolar cells. They are associated with bipolar cells. Now, all these bipolar cells unite together. They will unite together and there is special types of cells that are mitral cells. Now, these bipolar cells will get attached to the mitral cells. Now, these mitral cells will form mitral fibers. These mitral fibers will get attached to the olfactory tract. Now, this olfactory tract will unite together and form olfactory striae. Olfactory striae. This is olfactory striae. Now, this olfactory striae will get injected or will get entered into the olfactory olfactory lobe. So, this is the telencephalon. Let us consider this is telencephalon, and here it consists of four lobes. That is, one of this lobe is olfactory lobe. This is olfactory lobe. Now, this olfactory stria will reach to this olfactory lobe. Will reach to the olfactory lobe. Now, this nerve, this entire nerve is called olfactory nerve. This is called olfactory nerve, which is formed at the upper junction of cribriform plate with the help of bipolar cells. This is the first type of nerve, that is olfactory nerve. Now, second type of nerve is optic nerve. Second type of nerve is optic nerve. Let us discuss where this optic nerve is formed, from where this is formed and where it is ended. Now, this optic nerve is also called, it is not a true cranial nerve. It is pseudocranial nerve. It is called pseudocranial nerve because it is formed at the posterior sides of or posterior openings of eyeball. Now let us consider these are the eyeballs. These two are the eyeballs. Now from the eyeballs, from the posterior sides of the eyeballs, there is liberation of this optic nerve, and here there is midbrain. This is midbrain. Pons medulla. Pons and medulla. Now here there is hypothalamus. There is hypothalamus. Now on surface of this it consists of thalamus. These are the two thalamus. Now on surface of this, on lateral sides of the thalamus, it consists of special structure that is called lateral geniculate bodies. These are lateral geniculate bodies. Now these optic nerves which are arising from the posterior part of this eyeball will reach this in this way. It will reach the lateral geniculate bodies and they will be ended in the lateral geniculate bodies. This is second nerve, that is optic nerve, which is arising from the posterior part of the eyeball and will be ended into the lateral geniculate bodies. This is about second type of nerve, that is optic nerve. And third type of nerve is oculomotor nerve. Oculomotor. This is oculomotor nerve. Where does this oculomotor nerve is formed means, now let us consider midbrain. Let us consider this is structure of midbrain and this is pons and this is medulla. Now at the anterior sides of the midbrain, in midbrain, and this is a substantia nigra. This is substantia nigra of midbrain. Now on surface anterior part of this midbrain, there it consists of on anterior part of this midbrain, it consists of special structure that is called cerebral aqueduct. This is called cerebral aqueduct. Now from this cerebral aqueduct coming to the posterior side, it consists of this structure. Now the third cranial nerve, that is oculomotor nerve, will be erased from the cerebral aqueduct and will move in this way. Will move in this way. Here, so the third oculomotor that is started will be erased from the cerebral aqueduct and will move from this part and will be entered in this manner. Now, this is the product. In this way, the third oculomotor will get produced in anterior part of midbrain. Now, let us discuss fourth type of cranial nerve, that is trochlear nerve. The fourth type of nerve is called trochlear nerve. Now, from where does this trochlear nerve is present means, just below the cerebral aqueduct there is special nucleus. There is special nucleus which is called trochlear nucleus. This is called trochlear nucleus. Now, from this trochlear nucleus, special fibers will be arranged, and these special fibers will be moving from back side of the brain. They will move in this way. From this side it will be moving from this side, and from this side it will be moving from this side, so that they will come from posterior side of the midbrain to the anterior side of the midbrain. That is trochlear nerve, which is coming from the arising from the midbrain, which from the trochlear nucleus, just below this cerebral aqueduct. That is fourth nerve, that is trochlear nerve. Now, fifth type of nerve is called trigeminal nerve. This is called trigeminal nerve. Where does this trigeminal nerve is formed and how it is coming out? Now, this is midbrain and this is pons. Now, this is midbrain and this is pons and this medulla. So, from where does this trigeminal nerve is formed means, there is formation from the pons. They will form from the pons, from the lateral sides of the pons. In this way they will be formed. Now, this is called sensory part. This is sensory nerve of trigeminal nerve. Now, this sensory nerve will be going like this, and it will attach to the trigeminal neuron. These fibers, with sensory fibers, will get attached to the trigeminal ganglion. This is trigeminal ganglion. Now, whenever it is attached to the trigeminal ganglion. Now, it will be divided into three divisions. It will be divided into three divisions. Now, the first division is called ophthalmic division. That is ophthalmic division. And second division is called maxillary division. That is maxillary division. And another type is called mandibular division. In this way, the sensory part of trigeminal nerve will be arising from the lateral sides of the pons, and it will be coming out of the pons and will get attached to the trigeminal ganglion. After attaching to the trigeminal ganglion, it divides into 3 branches or 3 divisions, out of which the first branch is called ophthalmic branch. This is the ophthalmic branch, and this is maxillary, that is second branch, and mandibular is the third branch. Now this is the story of sensory fibers. Now along with the sensory fibers, this trigeminal nerves also consist of motor nerves, that are motor fibers. These are the motor fibers. Now these motor fibers also released along with these sensory fibers, but one special, these are the motor fibers, but one special characteristic of motor nerves of trigeminal is they do not divide into the ophthalmic, maxillary and mandibular, but these motor trigeminal nerves will be moving in parallel with mandibular nerves. They will moving in parallel with mandibular nerves. In this way, they will be moving parallel with the mandibular nerves. These are sensory nerves and these are motor nerves. Sensory nerves are divided into ophthalmic, maxillary and mandibular, whereas motor nerves are parallel, will be going parallel with the only mandibular, will be going only parallel with the mandibular division of sensory. This is about 5th type, that is trigeminal nerves, and our 6th type is, next type, 6th type is abducens nerve. Sixth type of nerve is abducens nerve. Now let us have some modifications in this diagram. This is midbrain, so this medulla and its spinal cord. Now this junction is called pontomedullary junction. Junction between the medulla and pons is called pontomedullary junction. So from where does this 6th nerve, that is abducens nerve, is arising means 6th, 7th and 8th, 6th, 7th, 8th nerves. Now 7th type is facial nerves, and 6th type is vestibulocochlear nerves. Vestibulocochlear nerves. Now from where does this abducens, facial and cochlear nerves are arising means this is the pontomedullary junction. So from pontomedullary junction, at the center of this pontomedullary junction, at the centers of pontomedullary junction, that is sixth cranial nerve will be arised. From the center of this junction, 6th cranial nerves will be arised. Now going more lateral to this area, there is one more type, that is on lateral sides, it releases 7th type of cranial nerves. 7th type of cranial nerves, and going more lateral to this, it releases 8th type of cranial nerves. So 6th, 7th, 8th type of cranial nerves are arising from the pontomedullary junction. So if we discuss, let us draw a structure. Let us consider this is the pontomedullary junction. This is the pontomedullary junction, and in pontomedullary junction, it is divided into 3 divisions. From the central part, 6th cranial nerve is arised. Now, going more lateral to this, on either sides, 7th cranial nerve is arised. Now going more lateral to it, eighth cranial nerve is erased. So these sixth plus seventh and eighth, these three cranial nerves are erased from the pontomedullary junction. Pontomedullary junction. Abducens nerve, facial nerve, vestibulocochlear nerves, these are erased from the pontomedullary junctions. Pontomedullary junctions. These are erased from the pontomedullary junction. Now, this is eighth one. Ninth type of nerve is, let us discuss ninth type of nerve, that is glossopharyngeal nerve. Glossopharyngeal nerve, and 10th one, that is vagus nerve, and 11th one, that is accessory nerve, and 12th type of nerve. Let us discuss this 9, 10 and 11. From where does this 9th glossopharyngeal nerve, vagus nerve and accessory nerve are erased? Now let us draw one more diagram. Let us consider this is midbrain, this is a midbrain, and this is pons, medulla and spinal cord. Now this is pontomedullary junction. This is pontomedullary junction. This is pons and this medulla. Now inside of the medulla, it is divided into branches. This is the middle branch, that is P, O. Now these are P for pyramids, and O for olives. This medulla consists of centrally located pyramids and laterally located olives. Now from where does this glossopharyngeal, vagus and accessory nerves are produced means there is special two types of sulcus are present. Now these outer layering is called post calibri sulcus. That is post calibri sulcus. Now this division is called pre calibri sulcus. There are two types of sulcus. There are post calibri sulcus and pre calibri sulcus. Now from where does this glossopharyngeal, vagus and accessory nerves are present produced means these are produced from the post calibri sulcus. Let us consider ninth cranial nerve. This is the ninth cranial nerve, and this is the 10th cranial nerve, and this is the 11th cranial nerve. This is 9th cranial nerve, and it is 10th cranial nerve, and it is 11th cranial nerve. In this way, these are produced from the post Calibri sulcus. Now, let us discuss 12th type of nerve, that is hypoglossal nerve. Where does this hypoglossal nerve is found means, as we discussed that these are the pre-Calibri sulcus, PPOO. So on surface of from the inner side of this pre-Calibri sulcus, 12th pair of nerve is arranged. It is 12th pair and it is 12th pair. In this way, 12th cranial nerve is arised from the pre-Calibri sulcus. So in this way, 12 cranial nerves are arranged. That is, first one is olfactory, second one is optic nerve, third one is oculomotor, and fourth one is trochlear, and fifth one is trigeminal, sixth one is abducens, seventh one is facial, and eighth one is vestibulocochlear, and ninth one is glossopharyngeal, 10th one is vagus, 11th one is accessory, and 12th one is hypoglossal nerve. Now, let us discuss how they are situated inside the skull. How they are situated in the skull? These are cranial nerves. Now, how they are attached to the skull? Let us discuss the attachment in the skull. Let us consider this is the skull, seen from the top side, and half part is cutted, and below this let us consider the structure. Now, this is the central part. And these are the eyes, sorry, these are the ears. These are the ears. Now, here there are special structures that are cribriform plates. These dot-like structures are the cribriform plates. These are the cribriform plates. Now, and here, these are the optic canals. These two are the optic canals, and this square-like structure is called sella turcica, in which pituitary gland is present. Pituitary gland is present. These are called optic canals. Now, These are the eyeballs. Sorry, these are the eyes. These are the eyes and eyeballs. And there is one more structure, that is these are called superior obligate fissure, superior obligate fissures, superior obligate fissures, and these are eyelids, and these are cribriform plates. No, and it is sella tarsica. So, and here it also consists of fenestra rotundum, fenestra rotundum, and below it consists of fenestra ovalis. These are fenestra ovalis, or it is also called oval wind, and it is also called round window, and it is oval window. And here it consists of foramen magnum, foramen magnum, and here it consists of, these are 2 in number, and here it consists of geniculate foramen, geniculate foramen, and it also consists of ear, external ear and inner ear, external ear and inner ear. Now the 12 pairs of nerves which are arranged, and where does this will end and from where it is located in this diagram, let us see. First pair of nerves, that is olfactory nerves, are arranged from the cribriform plates. From here olfactory nerves are arranged. From here olfactory nerves are arranged and will be sent into the olfactory lobe of cerebral cortex. This is first type of nerve. Now second type of nerve, that is second pair of nerve, that is optic nerve, which is arising from the optic canals, will be entering into the eyeballs, entering into the eyeballs, which is produced from the eye canals, and these are the eyes. This is second type of cranial nerve, that is optic nerve. Let us write the nerves again here, that is, okay, these are first type. And how, where does this third, fourth, fifth, sixth are present means, let us draw this diagram little bit bigger. These are superior obligate fissures. Now superior obligate fissure, third, it includes third cranial nerves and fourth cranial nerves and 5A type cranial nerves and sixth cranial nerves. Third cranial nerve, fourth and 5A and sixth. What is 5A means? As we discussed that fifth type is trigeminal nerves, trigeminal nerves divided into three subdivisions. One is ophthalmic division, and other one is maxillary division, and other one is mandibular division. This is called A type, and this is B type, and this is C type. So obligate ophthalmic type of trigeminal nerve is arising into the or coming out from this superior obligate fissure. Now how this 5A will be coming from this means, here there is special ganglion that is called trigeminal ganglion. These are called trigeminal ganglions. These trigeminal ganglions will give 5A type to this superior obligate fissures, and there is one more type, that is 5B type. This is fenestra rotundum, and this is also fenestra rotundum, and from here 5B type will be given or will be coming from this side, coming from fenestra rotundum. This is 5B type. Now what about 5C type? This C type is coming from the fenestra ovalis. 5C type. These are 5C type. 5A type. Now if you have clear confusion, that is 5A type is coming from posterior obligate fissure, and 5B type is coming from fenestra rotundum, and 5C type is coming from fenestra ovalis. This is a clear cut of this trigeminal nerves. Now sixth nerve also will be ending in this area. Now where does this 7th and 8th nerves are ending, or from where it is coming means, these are the 7th and 8th pair of cranial nerves will be entering into the auditory canals. 7th and 8th type will be entering into the auditory canals. First is completed, second is completed, and third completed, fourth completed, fifth nerve completed, sixth nerve completed, and 7th and 8th nerves are completed. 7th and 8th nerves are entered into the external auditory meters. Now remaining are 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. So these are geniculate foramens. Now from these geniculate foramens it comes 9th nerve and 10th nerve and 11th nerves. 9th, 10th and 11th. It is geniculate foramen. 9th pair, 10th pair and 11th pairs are coming from the geniculate foramens. Now this is foramen magnum. This foramen magnum is internally divided into hypoglossal foramens. These two are hypoglossal foramens. Up to 11 pairs of cranial nerves are completed. Now from where does the 12th pair of cranial nerves will be arising means, there is only left out part is this hypoglossal foramens. So from here 12th pair of nerve will be arising. So from here 12th pair of nerve is arising. In this way 12 pairs of nerves will be coming or will be ended in this area. First pair of nerve is ended into the cribriform plate, and second pair will be ended into the eyeballs, or that is optic canals, and third pair of cranial nerve will be coming from this posterior orbital fissures, and fourth one is also coming from posterior obligate fissures, and fifth one is 5A type is coming from the posterior orbital, and 5B type is coming from the fenestra rotundum, and 5C type is coming from the fenestra ovalis, and sixth pair of cranial nerves is coming from the posterior obligate fissures, and seventh and eighth pair of cranial nerves are arising from this or will be ending in the external auditory meatus, and 9th 10th level are ending in the geniculate foramen. It is ending in the geniculate foramen, and 12th pair of nerve is ending in the hypoglossal foramen. In this way they are opened and closed. In this way the cranial nerves will be opening or ending in this specialized area.